Investigating a swell in ancient army attacks, an intrepid surveyor named Casie returns from the lakeside arsenal, as she'd expected, with nothing of value, just a couple of dings in her armour and a mildly mysterious black box. The following morning, Casie awakes at her desk to find her new acquisition pouring through research material. After an awkward introduction, she finds the box to be the naive, trusting type, which she doesn't really find so strange. It's much more bizarre that an ancient army trooper can talk in the first place. The black box, accidentally named Jack, is even more unaware of his origins than Casie. Having already tried and broken her tools on him the night before, Casie jokingly offers to bring Jack to the distant capital to find someone to study him. To Casie's concern, Jack eagerly agrees. How's it going, guys? John here from the Killer Bits, and today I'm taking a look at Jack and Casie from the pixel artist Shout. And this is actually a demo that is up on Kickstarter at the moment. So we play as, well, Casie and Jack here. Casie is a level 90 surveyor. She's a capable warrior, joined by her intergalactic storage bin, Jack. Yes, and along our journey we find these shopkeepers that will tell us how we use our inventory, because this is classed as an inventory action game. So it sounds a little odd. Just think of this as Tetris, but with JRPG fighting. That's the best way I can sum it up. So, I mean, we can have a look at the shop, and this gives us an idea. So this big grey box at the bottom of the screen here is our inventory. At the moment, it's empty. We could fill it with stuff from the shop like this field guide here, which I will get to later in the video. But as we journey along, we're going to need weapons, and we're going to need ammo for those weapons. We're going to need ways of healing ourselves by cooking. It all gets very, I wouldn't say complicated, but it gets quite frenetic. This is why I'm actually recording the VO in post, because I've got really into the game, but you get really stuck in the kind of the puzzle and the management of the inventory. I've missed all the actual dialogue between these two characters. So, alright, trash can, listen up. We're going to run into some trouble out here. And, considering your condition, maybe you should leave running and gunning to me. As you can see, I'm flipping around machetes at the moment. So what should I do? Well, you can carry stuff, if you want. You're the talking cargo dimension. I've got, what, 2 pockets and a skirt. So the whole premise is these two work together. So Jack is, as it's classed, a walking, talking storage unit. I'm considering him a bit like the luggage out of Discworld. He's I don't think he's quite a mimic. I don't think he's going to try and tear our hands off or try and devour us whole. But he's, as we saw in that kind of prelim description, some kind of unit from this ancient army which we attack, and we get into a fight. So, as you can see here, it auto-picks the weapons in order. So whatever's to the top left of our inventory, we will automatically use. So, in this case, it was the assault rifle. If that's not in place, it'll be the next thing along, which in this case is the machete. And you see, I'm trying to fill the inventory as best I can, but whilst conserving some space. So there we go. I want to grab that shotgun because I know it packs a punch, but I want to also try and conserve some space. So I'm jiggling stuff around. So this is where I say it's a bit like Tetris. You can actually see in the help thing there, it says about you can spin objects on the A button, flip them on the S button, and then we need to combine them. Stuff like the shotgun here. I'm going to grab the shotgun shell, press D, and combine it with that, and we reload. So you have to constantly do this, because this like path on the left-hand side, which we're traveling along, never stops. We can kind of drag and move stuff along it, and this is what I've found is the best way of keeping hold of weapons you're going to likely use. I mean, we can't fit the sniper rifle in there because it's quite kind of big and bulky. But the shotgun I want to hold on to. We're going to grab as much shotgun ammo as possible. And these things are important as well. These little silver, look like cassettes. They're silver components. I think it's actually classed as silver circuit components. So they're stuff we can actually sell at the shop. And the whole thing is we need to find better weapons, we need to buy better ingredients and things like that. So we do need to pick up stuff like the silver. The scrap metal is worth like $30 at the shop. But it all takes up space, so we have to constantly think how we're going to best manage this. And occasionally the enemies will duck out the way. So also we have to bear in mind some enemies are weaker against certain weapons and that. So in the shop right at the beginning, you saw that field guide. As I said, will get back to it because these first creatures we come across, like the rustworm and the combat mouse, are fairly easy to take care of. Pretty much any weapon, as long as they don't duck, will hit them. But as we get further into it, there are certain creatures that are completely immune to firearms, so that's where we need those melee weapons like the machete. And also we'll reload, grab the scrap, but you see the little kind of cooking stove there? I'm going to put some batteries in it to make sure it's fully charged up. Got two uses there, because we do need to heal as well, and we do this by actually cooking food. So occasionally you pick up ingredients, but you can kind of make logical leaps how to make stuff. So the leaves and some water cooked on the stove will turn into, well, I'd class it as like a green tea type thing, but it classes here as a saltgrass saute. So that's going to heal us up if we need it. And this is where you see some enemies are actually very weak against some stuff. That shotgun blast took out 3 guys because it did this burning damage, and they're weak to burning. So we did technical damage, which is essentially crit damage. But I did say we were going to look at, how we can tell enemies are weak in that. And that's with this big book in the middle of the screen here. This is the field guide, which Jack can read. Now, I did click this in the middle of the battle, but it takes time to charge up. So when we actually get into another fight, it should be charged, and we should see how we can tackle an enemy. And I'm also keeping an eye on these sniper rifles because they're very good, and I want that egg because I know I can make a nice omelette with it. So it's constant. I mean, this play session I did, I was playing for like an hour and 20 minutes of a demo, and here we go. I've got a saber wolf. Right, let's chuck a machete at it, and it misses. So all the weapons have a certain hit percentage. So the assault rifle is pretty high. I think it's like 80%. And there we go. We've used the field guide, or rather Jack has. This is a saber wolf, and as we can see, it's resistant to nothing, but it's weak against sniper rifles. And that's because it's got a weak spot, and Jack and Casie are discussing what are weak spots. So this is what I kind of missed out a lot on because I was focusing on actually solving the puzzles, and this is one of the reasons I wanted to do this in post so I could actually read it myself. So we know it's weak against sniper rifles. Thankfully we do have a sniper rifle here, so we're going to take that shot, stare it down the eye, and technical damage. There you go. We did 9 points of damage, and hopefully, no, the machete misses. Okay, let's just shoot it with the assault rifle, machine rifle. And come on. You can see just under Casie, there's a little white bar ticking along. That's our action timer sort of thing. And it is worth keeping an eye on that as you get later into the game, because there are certain objects and weapons that you need to time right. I'm not going to spoil exactly what, but we get through these fights, and as I said, we've been collecting all this stuff because it's worth taking it back with us to the shop to actually sell. And you can see our inventory is pretty damn full. In fact, I'm going to try and fill it up as much as possible before the checkpoint in 6, 5, 4, 3, come on. A bush through a copse of battery. No, we'll take that battery as well. Any extra little things. And we make it back to the shop. Well, each of these points is a checkpoint. And there we go. Cobber, don't call it junk, it's scrap. You don't sell junk because you use it as junk. Yeah, whatever. Can we just get to the shop, please? So each interaction. So here we go. This is where we can actually buy stuff. Each shop has its own different things. So initially it's just like a weapon shop, and then there's like a fish shop. This is like a junk shop with like a broken gun and machine parts. But we can sell everything here. So this is where the puzzle element still comes in. If we wanted to grab that gun, I don't think I did actually grab it in the end. We are going to have to work out a way of clearing enough space from our inventory to shove in the shop so we can actually move the gun down. So it's all... This is essentially a puzzle game. This is playing with jigsaws, playing Tetris. You constantly having to shift stuff around, know what weapons to use on which enemies, which you need to use the field guide or just, battle them a bunch of times and you realise, well, certain creatures like the furballs are completely immune to shotguns or any weapons. You're going to have to throw melee weapons at them or try and burn them. So it's all bits and pieces like that you need to keep an eye on. And there's objects like the repair kit there, which, as you can see, will recover scrap. I don't pick it up in the end because it's a big object. I'd rather have a 2x2 for a heal of some sort, and I'm not picking up the gun because it's huge. At least I know what these weapons do. And then we get other weapons like the big 50 cal sniper rifle. This is quite far into the game. This is like a good, like 5-6 levels in. This is, 2/3 of the way in. And we come across these items, like the grenade. Now this, you have to remember to pull the pin to throw it. And boom! So when it works really well. We can blow stuff up. But when it doesn't work, things go astray. You could throw the grenade without pulling the pin, which will do absolutely nothing. Then again, you could pull the pin a little too early. So this is where I said you have to bear in mind the action timer. So we pulled the pin and, oh dear, Jack blew up. Now this really puts you in a stuck predicament because now you can't access your inventory, the path alongside. So you just have to rely on what you had in order. And that could be anything. You could be throwing, ammo at them or, some food or something like that. Thankfully, I did have the machete and the assault rifle in place. But you can see next we're going to lob that crate at them. And, of course, that's not going to do any damage. So this is... When I first saw it, I thought this is a very cool concept. I mean, it initially started as a Ludum Dare project prototype back in 2016. And as I said, it is on Kickstarter at the moment. I think they're looking for $15,000, but they've already blown past that with like 2 or 3 weeks already to go. I think they're at like almost 20,000. So this is... It looks a little odd. It looks a bit kind of NES era, This would look all right on a, DS, I'd say, with the split screen type idea. But I like the concept. It's a fast-paced action puzzle game. It's a case of you're spending all your time trying to shift all these objects around the inventory, trying to optimize constantly. And there's just something very appealing about that. But like I said, it is a demo that you can check it out for yourself. And if you want to do so, I will leave a link in the description. And of course, if you've enjoyed this little first impressions of the game, do let me know in the comments below, or you can get in touch with us on any of the social medias over at the Kilobits. Alright, until next time, folks, take this advice. Never leave anything behind that could be used as a weapon. Alright, catch you later. Bye!